Good evening and welcome. I'm Sheila Balgobin and I am the Dream Decipherer, and I help you to crack the code of your sleep and dreams so you can sleep sound and dream deep. I'm hoping you're wherever you are, you're all keeping cool. I'm wearing as little as I can get away with, and I'm not wearing a bath towel, but as close as I can get to one. But this dream is very, very short. And in fact, it's actually been forgotten. So you're probably wondering, how am I going to talk about a dream that somebody forgot? Well, it's a very interesting thing about dreams, and we remember parts or forget them. And there are things you can actually do to help you to remember your dreams. One of which is to just have a little notebook and a pencil by your bed. You don't have to write War and Peace, but you can jot down a few keywords, and it will help jog your memory when you're fully awake. But what you don't know probably is that within the first 5 minutes of waking, 50% of a dream is already forgotten, and that's true for everyone, even for me. uh, you Unless you take steps to be able to recall the dream, you will forget most of it. But what you will remember, which will bring us to tonight's dream, is that the thought or feeling with the most emotional charge that will actually stick in your mind. So you may forget most of a dream, but the most important bits, the parts that you need to look at right then and there, are the ones that you will remember. And quite often, if you remember those bits, you may actually start to recall other parts of the dream as well afterwards. So, what this two-line dream is about is the dreamer reports that they don't actually recall any of the dream, any narrative or any images or anything like that. But what they did recall from the dream is waking up with a general feeling of being secure and protected, but somewhat restricted or imprisoned, and bathed in a warm red maternal glow. And that's the dream, or the dreamer's impression of the dream. Now, though dreams are generally present themselves as images with sound and color, um, and emotions, but sometimes, for whatever reason, some of those elements might actually be missing. In this case, the only elements that were present in this dream that the dreamer picked up on were the feelings and a color. Now, the dreamer uses the word secure, protected, but feeling somewhat imprisoned, and we'll come back to that. But says they felt it was bathed in a warm red maternal glow. And that brought up an interesting image for me, because what came to mind with this red maternal glow was actually the womb, like being a child being enclosed in the womb, which I would assume internally it would be red, certainly warm, and protective, but yet imprisoned, enclosed. And there's something about that. And metaphorically, perhaps it refers to the dreamer in some way being in the house of the mother, the great mother, if you will, um, which kind of is a nurturing spirit that, whether it be from a physical mother or a mothering spirit of the universe, that is surrounding and protecting, and perhaps maybe even restricting a little bit the dreamer. There's something else that came up with this, and some people have been noted as having pre-birth memories, and in other words, memories before they were actually born, and can recall being in the womb. And I just wonder, again, this image of this warm red maternal glow made me think of this as a possible pre-birth memory of being warm and safe and trapped a bit inside the womb of the mother. Um, what my question here for the dreamer is, what does the color red specifically uh, evoke for the dreamer? And what could he possibly associate this feeling of being protected but yet imprisoned or entrapped? Is there some area of the dreamer's life where there he has that feeling that being um, enclosed and safe on the one hand, but feeling unable to move freely, and restricted or imprisoned in some way? So what does all of this possibly mean for the dreamer? Well, the question I would have here is there some area of the dreamer's life where there's a feeling of maternal warmth, um, but yet feels restricted or imprisoned by that warmth and that maternal feeling somehow? It doesn't have to be necessarily related to a person, but perhaps it may be with regard to ideas or principles or beliefs that were comforting and nurturing, like a mother, but perhaps are not fitting quite so well, and it feels restrictive. Something for the dreamer to think about. But as a whole, what I would ask here for the to the dreamer, what does this feeling the what do these feelings actually bring to mind for the dreamer? Does it bring up a specific person? Does it bring up a specific area of the dreamer's life? What exactly do these feelings seem to be related to in waking life? So there you have it. Not having a dream or not remembering a dream can actually provide you with some useful information if you take the time to pick it apart. If you have a dream that you half remember or would like to be able to remember your dreams, contact me and have a short free consultation and get some advice. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Have a great evening and rest of the week. Try your best to stay cool, drink plenty of fluids, it's important. And I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye bye.